Hi, I'm Sheila Peeler, and today we're going to talk about St. Thomas Aquinas. I just want to give you a brief introduction into who he is and the role he played in education. St. Thomas Aquinas was an Italian theologian and philosopher in the 13th century. He was a devout Christian and habitually used his faith to guide him through his role as a teacher. Aquinas wrote many philosophical works, including the Summa Theologica and De Veritate. Both of these works include many of Aquinas' extensive thoughts on education, teaching, and learning from a Christian perspective. St. Thomas believes that God is the source of all knowledge and that people can learn because God gave them the ability to. Therefore, it is possible for one human to cause learning in another. In that sense, teachers are God's instruments, guiding students in their pursuit of knowledge that God intends for them. Aquinas posited that one should learn everything one possibly can, and for those things that fall outside of the rational understanding, one should rely on faith. This philosophical view is known as Thomism and became the Catholic Church's philosophical foundation for matters regarding education. Now, Aquinas, along with Aristotle, thought it was man's obligation to think rationally and to seek truth throughout life. For Aquinas, all knowledge and understanding should bring man closer to God. More importantly, Aquinas was able to identify unify Aristotle's theory of reason with Christianity, providing humanity a way to understand the world with both reason and faith as complementary views. This philosophy was known as scholasticism or neo-scholasticism and has been criticized by philosophers because it does not have a unique viewpoint, but rather offers a collection of ideas from other philosophical theories. Aquinas states, "The minds of teachers are watered by the things that are above in the wisdom of God, and by their ministry, the light of divine wisdom flows down to the minds of students." The ministry of teaching requires teachers to deliberately engage students in learning activities that stimulate the use of reason or critical thinking skills, as these are life skills that intellectuals need. Understanding how come is more important than rote memorization. Aquinas states, "If we resolve problems posed by faith exclusively by means of authority, we will of course possess the truth, but empty heads." A key point of Aquinas' education theory is that humans start to acquire knowledge through sense experiences as they seek to understand the world around them. According to Aquinas, there are two ways to learn: discovery and learning by instruction. Aquinas views the learner as an active participant in the teacher-learner relationship. The ability for students to apply reason, ask questions, formulate conclusions, and meditation are all active parts of the learning process. Aquinas places emphasis on the idea that learning results in a change of behavior because what one knows influences what one does. Aquinas took the stance that teaching only occurs when learning occurs. Aquinas is commonly criticized and possibly even dismissed as a true philosopher because his views are ultimately influenced by his faith. However, one only has to consider evidence of his positive influence on education to understand that what Aquinas critics consider his weakness is actually his strength. St. Thomas Aquinas' philosophical and theological thoughts on education influenced the Roman Catholic Church's view on education for hundreds of years. His work is still referenced and used to guide educational decisions, such as the argument for inclusive classrooms in both public and private schools. And finally, in this day and age, where individuals are wrestling with integrating their faith and learning and living, St. Thomas still illuminates the way, as he has already proven it is possible. Thank you. That is a brief introduction to St. Thomas Aquinas. Thank you so much for listening.